Hello, thank you so much for joining me, and today we're going to be doing crafts with mudlarking finds. Okay, so today I'm talking storage. I know it can be very expensive to buy, you know, the little printer trays and things like that, or the little trays that keep your bits and pieces in. I know they can be expensive, but I think I've thought of an inexpensive way that you can show your finds and your little bits and pieces. Okay, I haven't made one yet, it's all up here, so I've just got to transfer it from up here to down there. So first of all, I bought this house, this little wooden shelving house, Amazon. I think it was about £6, about £5.99. Places like The Works or Hobbycraft might also sell them, but look around, because you can get them really, really cheap. It's not too bad a size, you can get quite a few things in there, but it's boring like that. So we're going to do something with that. We need to make it look a little bit more exciting, something just a little bit more interesting to look at. Okay, and also, because it's not just going to be that, we're going to also do something with this log slice. Okay, if you see someone cutting down trees, you can always ask them for a slice, but don't forget, leave it to dry out. So get it well in advance and leave it as long as you can to dry out. Or you can go in florist. I got this one from a florist. Yeah, or eBay. eBay probably sell them as well. But if you want it for free, just go and hunt round and see where they're cutting trees down, and just ask them for like a 2-inch slice or something like that. Ask for a few and just put them somewhere nice and dry for them to dry out. Okay, so that's a log slice. It was inexpensive. This one from a florist, I think it was about £4. That isn't a lot, is it really? And then I just chose paper. I've got tons of these. I've got tons of these pads of paper. A few years ago, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, TK Maxx they just kept getting them in, all different ones, and I couldn't resist, and I think I bought every single one. Trust me, my other craft room where I do paper craft is full of these. So I've just grabbed one off the shelf. I looked on the front, I thought, yeah, it's got a few patterns we can go with there. So yeah, other than that, you can, wallpaper, wrapping paper, any paper that you've got that's got some sort of pattern on it, just get it, because we're going to be using it. I've just got this down here because I'm going to be painting, and because it's quite big I haven't got anything to put underneath, so I'm just using this piece of wood. Okay, so I'll put this down for now. Oh yeah, paint wise, I've just painted some furniture in my back room. So this is the furniture paint I've used, just from B&Q. It's a chalk finish, so I've got it, so I might as well use it. So yeah, use what you've got. Other than that, acrylic, get a nice acrylic, you know, just the usual tubes that you get. I'm trying to find one to hand. There isn't one to hand, but you know, acrylic tube of paint. Okay, so I shall come back in a minute and we'll be all set up for the first part of this storage craft. So we've got a brush, we've got our paint, and we've got our little shelving unit. And first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it all a coat of paint. You don't need to do the back, but you can do. I will take the sticker off if I can. Yeah, I'm just give it all a coat. Sorry, that's scraping's going through me. I'm just going to have to get something to peel off with. I'll just be back in a second. It was, you know, one of them scratches that really grates on you. It's one of them. So just give me a second. I'm just going to take this label off. I scraped the label off, used a pair of scissors. That was a bit like the feeling you get when, you know, you scratch chalkboard or polystyrene. Never mind. Right, okay, so let's get painting. You don't need to paint in these bits here. Paint like that along the edges so that it's, you know, you don't see any of the backing, because we're going to put paper on there. These back bits are going to have the paper on, so we just need to paint everything else. This paint that I'm using is a dark grey. I've painted my furniture dark grey, some old furniture. And actually it looks really nice and saved me hundreds of pounds. I was quoted £500 for a cupboard and did it for £100, and much better with drawers in. Right, so just carry on painting like that. You don't need to paint the back, but just paint a little bit onto the back bit so that when you stick, paper on it, just in case it doesn't quite fit, you won't get the light colour background poking through. So I should come back when I've got to the stage of putting the paper on. It's just a case of painting now. Just showing you the progression of it. Doesn't take long to do. You can give it a couple of coats if you wish. It's entirely up to you. It just depends what the paint is like. But yeah, it's a very, very easy makeover, this. Right, I only want to give this one coat, so I'm just going to go over any bits I see that look like they're not quite fully covered. This is actually quite good paint, furniture paint, so it's a purpose made for this sort of thing. Okay, that's okay for now. I do actually want to paint the back, but I'm going to leave the front bit to dry first. So yeah, I'm going to leave that to dry, and then we'll start on the log while that's drying. The idea for the log is that I'm going to decoupage it, okay, with newspaper. And this newspaper is 1935 newspaper that I got off the cliff edge in Yorkshire. So yes, it's 1935 paper, and I don't want to cover it all because I like the bark. I like that edge, but I do want to just go up to the edge of where the bark starts on here. So hopefully it will work. So I'm going to decoupage on here 1935 paper. So I need a brush and decoupage glue. Always make sure pick the right glue. And I say that because I have picked the wrong glue, as you know. Right, I'm hoping if I glue to the edge that anything that doesn't stick I can just rub off, you know, newspaper wise. You know what, we can I've got loads of these logs, so it doesn't matter if it doesn't work. You could always paint it. When you see the finished effect, you might decide you want to paint it instead. So let's get a nice big lot dolloped on there so we can start sticking. Just storage for your bottles and all your finds can be so expensive. So this is a nice cheap way to do it. And hopefully it'll work. Like I say, I haven't actually made one before. It's all in my head. But that's where all the good ideas are, aren't they, in your head? Right, let's see how we go with that. Right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it, can you see, like that. I'm gluing around the circle here, but I'm making sure I'm not going beyond onto the bark edge, yeah, because when it's dry I want to be able to just pick that off so that we've got a nice circle and a ring of bark. Yeah, so leave that bit dry with no glue. It is quite brittle, this paper, but it's still very usable. Okay, I'll come back to you when I've completely covered that. Okay, so I think you can see there that I've left the edge. Can you see how the edge is dry? Because I didn't want it to go right onto the bark edge. So hopefully when all that glue is dry, I can just rub off. Because it is so flaky anyway, this newspaper, I should just be able to rub it off, and it should leave us with a line so I can see the bark edge. So yeah, so we just need to leave that to dry, and now we can paint the back of the house, because that dried the time it took to do that, which isn't bad at all, is it? So this is chalky finish furniture paint, Rust-Oleum. So I did get it from B&Q, but Amazon, if you can't get out of the house for whatever reason, or they don't sell it in your shops, Amazon will sell it. I've had Rust-Oleum from Amazon before. Oops, not the glue. Let's put the lid back on the glue so I'm not tempted to put my paintbrush in it. I'm painting the back because I'm not actually going to hang this on the wall. Although you could do, you don't need the log, you could just paint the house and decorate it the way I'm going to show you. But this is like to go on top of a cupboard or a windowsill if you've got a big windowsill. That's why I'm painting the back, because I'm not putting it on the wall. You might as well paint it all, it doesn't take any time at all. I'll just check any little bits that need touching up. Right, okay. Back's painted, front's painted. I'm just going to leave that about 10 minutes to dry, and then we'll come back and we'll choose our paper to go in the back of it. And hopefully that'll be dry as well. The next stage is we're going to fill these back places with the paper. Oops. See? Just going to cut the paper and fill these back places. I've chosen a few sheets. There's this one. Lots of different things to choose from. This one that's got typewriters on it. Oops. Typewriters on it. This one is wooden floorboards or something. This one's tape measures. This one has got numbers on it. And this one has got the word today all over it. Okay, so we're going to be using those papers. Just put them to one side and use one at a time. I like this one. It's the right sort of colour for what we're making, isn't it? This grey. And I think I'm going to do that one in the biggest hole here. Right, and I haven't got a ruler because it's in a safe place somewhere. So what I'm going to do is what I would do if you weren't here, is not use a ruler. I'm just going to mark it. Just going to rub my finger along the edge, the inside edge of that shelf. See, I had it to the corner like that, and I ran my finger along the inside edge, and as you can see, it's made a mark. So the first cut you make, just make sure you hit that mark. We want to actually make it a little bit smaller, so we will be trimming it, no doubt. Just want to make it smaller because just want it to fit in, and because we have painted around the inside edges, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfectly exact. So we pop it in, and I can see that it's a little bit wide. So I'm just going to pop it back out again. Cut it along the edge. Just cut it a little bit narrower. You can use a slicer if you wish. Measure it. Make sure it is. Yeah, I'm just going to cut it down just a little bit. Tiny, tiny, tiny little bit. Yeah, that's going to fit a lot better. Then I'm going to use my usual go-to glue, the E8000, sorry. The smell of it reminds me of Evo stick. So yeah, put your glue. And I am just going to put a little bit on the wood because it's probably going to soak it up. Okay. Right, so also make sure if it's got words on it that the words are the right way around and not upside down. And then you just want to place it into that gap. Press it down. There you have it. That's 2 done. You see it's coming together already, isn't it? Right, let's do another one. So unless I have to, I don't want to use the same one twice. Okay, so we'll keep going. and the next one is going to be, oops, the numbers one. And I think we'll have that one in the triangle one at the top. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I haven't got a ruler. I'm just going to put it along that bottom edge. Just going to run my finger along that bottom edge to make a mark. Please feel free to use a ruler. Okay, you know what I'm like, I don't measure anything. So I've made that mark. Yeah, I'm going to cut that out. It will need trimming, but that's okay. Test. Yeah, it's too big. So I'm going to trim. So I'm just going to trim the edges just because it's slightly too big, which we knew it would be. Yep, pretty sure that's going to fit. There we have it, the triangle for the triangle at the top. Don't worry, crafting isn't about being absolutely perfect. Unless you've got like crafting OCD, you don't have to be perfect. There can be mistakes, there can be little bits of messes, but it's your craft. It's something that's relaxing. It should be, so you don't have to stress about things being perfect. Okay, just going to pop that piece of paper down there. Yeah, it's your craft, it's a craft for you, isn't it? Yep, so don't forget you can get these houses, Hobbycraft, Amazon, obviously, get everything on Amazon. But yeah, mine was on Amazon and it was, it was about £5, £6. Honestly, it wasn't dear at all. I would never do a craft that would cost you a lot of money, because I don't like to pay a lot of money either. Okay, right, so we've got our number one here. Going to slot that in, push it down, use your scissor just to push the corner down. That is looking fabulous. Look at that, so far we've got the number one, that today one, and the bird one. And it's looking good so far, and that's without any of our finds in it. Right, so let's get another piece of paper. Now I'm going to use this one. Where should we have that? We might as well have it here. So yeah, again, I'll show you. I'm going to pop that into the corner because I know it's a right angle. Okay, so pop it into that corner so it sits on top of the shelf. Yeah, on top and to the side. Then press it down with your finger. It's easy as that. Or mark it with a ruler. I'll show you again. Look, it's made an imprint that we can cut. See, that's a little bit too wide. Just by placing it on the top here, on that side, placing it on the top there. It's a snug fit. We want it to not be quite so snug, so I'm just going to trim that side and trim that side. Yep, and that's going to fit much better. Don't forget, always make sure it isn't upside down. I don't think it needs the glue in that bit necessarily, but while we're here we might as well. Right, the numbers, can you see? Are the right way up. Pop it in, press it down. Simple as that. We're getting there. We are definitely getting there with this. Yeah. It's looking great already, isn't it? Nearly finished. Nearly finished that bit anyway. Right, let's get another one. I'm going to go for the typewriter. Typewriter next. I want to make sure I get a typewriter in. Right. So, you know the score. Just rub it so it leaves a mark. Yeah, I've done that in the middle, not right to the edge, because I wanted to get a full typewriter on. Well, as much as that typewriter as I could. Which you did. Right, so okay, so yeah, yet again, just take that slither off the side, the bottom, make sure it's not too snug. What glue you don't want to use though is PVA. I wouldn't use PVA with paper because it's a wet glue and it can wrinkle your paper. You could use a tacky glue though, because you don't need much of that and it's not as wet as PVA glue. But this, I'm still using the first one that I bought to do all the crafting with, and you've seen me use it tons of times, and tons of times you haven't seen me use it, and there's still tons of it left. So that, definitely good value for money. Right, let's make sure it's the right way up. Oh, nearly wasn't. Let's pop that typewriter in. That's better. Okay. Yeah. Right, 2 more to go. What have we got? Yeah, the wood one. Which way should we have the wood? We'll have the wood grain going up. If you haven't got a steady hand, please use a ruler and a slicer if you have to. So marry it up. Make sure it's not too snug. In all directions. Yes, don't forget you can use wrapping paper, you can use wallpaper, anything. Magazines, you could even use magazines. Like if you had like an old magazine. With some retro pictures in it, whatever. You don't have to go out and buy expensive pads of paper. In fact, this pad of paper that I bought, it's probably still got its TK Maxx price on, and it has. It was $7.99. $7.99 in TK Maxx. It was a few years ago and I haven't really seen them since. But yeah, if you can get like pads of paper, you get tons in it. I've only used a tiny little bit. In fact, so if you were desperate and you wanted to use the same thing, I could even send you some little pieces, couldn't I? Because I've got loads left. If you really wanted to do the same pattern, I don't mind sharing it. There we go. So we get a wipe your fingers. It's feeling a bit dry. Right, okay, let's make sure they're dry, don't really mark this. Okay, we've got the wood in the corner now. Yeah, I think you'll agree that looks fabulous compared to how it was. That looks amazing. Right, now the very last one, what shall we have? I've got this one here that's got like multiple different things on. Should we go for a red? No, don't want a red. Green. Yeah, I love that green one. I'm just going to make this, I'm just going to cut this out because this will fit in, won't it? I'm just going to, just to make it easier to handle. Yep, it's marked the same as all the others. And if you do it wrong, you don't have to stick it in, do you? You can just cut another piece out. Right, let's marry it up. Too wide. Yeah. Still a bit too wide. I'm only taking slithers, little slithers off. Here we go. Right, there's no up and down to this one, so right, there you have the house done. Look at that, and that's going to house your gems, your nice little finds. But we're not finished yet. That house is fine, and you could just stick that on as it is on the wall. It comes with little brackets, little things to nail it on. But no, that's not enough. That's not enough for us. So yeah, that's done, and it's looking fantastic. But now we're going to do the log. Just going to give it a couple more minutes to dry, and then we'll sort out that edge and we'll take it from there. Okay, so with the log, it's more or less dry now. It's certainly dry enough to work on. What I thought was, rather than attempting to tear off the bits of the paper that hasn't stuck, I'm just going to use a knife. I still haven't found the knife that Mick brought me, but I did find this old one in the cupboard. So I'm just going to go along the edge of the glue. And that other will just fly off because we didn't put glue on it underneath or on top. I can lift it up and show you what it looks like. Right, okay, just pop that knife down in there, and there we have it. You see how I left the edge, so that the edge of the bark is still on it. We've decopatched it with that 1935 newspaper. Okay, and so really that's it. We've got that, and we've got that. But you can't really tell what it's going to look like until you've got your goodies on it. So that's the completed project. I'm now going to get some goodies, fill up the shelf and fill up this bit here and show you what it could possibly look like with all your stuff on it. And if you make one of these, please don't forget to share your photograph with us, because we all want to see. I don't get many photographs of projects that you've done, but I do get a few, and I love receiving them and I love sharing them. So yeah, you have a go too, but I shall come back in an instant and show you what it could look like with some of your found items on it. Okay, I think you'll agree with a few bits and pieces on there. That is a really nice, effective bit of shelving, a little bit of a display. Don't forget that will cost about £6. I used paint I already had. I used the paper I already had. The log slides I already had, but you can buy them for about £4, £5. And obviously the paper that I already had. So it's a really nothing. It's a really, what would it cost? A tenner? Maybe £10, using all the stuff that you've got already. So yeah, just have a look at that, because that is a beautiful, beautiful little display area. And you don't even have to have the log, you could just put that on your wall and it's beautiful as it is. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified when we put any videos up. And also don't forget, if you really enjoyed it, we have got the Ko-fi link down below which you can donate the price of a coffee to us, and we appreciate it very much. Thanks for watching, bye!